This design here is what you call a half drop, or some people call it a 5-star. You have one on each side, one in the middle, and it repeats, and it calls it a half drop because of the distance. Your repeat's half to this next repeat here than it is to here. Just some people call it a half drop. Just getting my wire in my way here, sorry. This lays out real well for us because we can take the larger pieces of the pattern and put them in the center. I know where you were talking about earlier, if this is a side-by-side like you'll see next, you have to come to this side and you end up having to seam that T-cushion. But on this, the 5-star, the reason it's pretty much always correct in the book, if you go by the repeat chart, it usually lays out real well. Then we can come to the sides and get the kidney pills, maybe some out arms, so you save some fabric. Usually lays out really well.
So are you laying this out, when you center this one, so it's in the center of the 5-star, you laying this?
Exactly. This is center in the same place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This actually repeats here, here, and then back here.
Okay.
So that's why the 5-star repeats real well. You have some on the side and some in the middle,
okay,
so you don't have to seam anything. Now on this fabric, this is pretty much a true side-by-side. Still have your same 27-inch repeat, but this one will not lay out near as well as the 5-star. You don't have a design in the middle that we feel like you could use, so we'll go to the side here, and this is where you run into the seaming problem. And normally, we know y'all don't know sometimes if it is a side-by-side fabric, we'll usually call you always on this and say, we're gonna have to seam this cushion because of the way it lays.
Where would you seam that?
We'll go to the center of the design here and where it comes off here. Now, if it's really close to this edge, we'll come back in because we don't want it real close to the edge here. We usually come in at least 1.5 inches, 2 inches.
And then on the other ear, they'll do a full seam so that they match.
So it's balanced. You know, you don't have a seam on one side. We'll come back in, put a false seam here to match the same distance from the side as this one is. So, and then it ends up pretty nice. We do the same thing, it all flows through, do the French seam on it. Now we don't French seam it if it's a velvet because of the track lines, so we won't French seam velvets. So, but pretty much anything else we will, or a real heavy chenille sometimes. But other than that, we'll French seam or top stitch anything.